Hi everyone. In this video, let's discuss unpaired t-test. So unpaired t-test is a parametric test. It is used to find the significant difference between two means or to test the hypothesis. Unpaired t-test is also known as independent sample t-test. It is applied when we obtain data from subjects of two independent separate groups of people or samples drawn from two different populations. For example, a study to assess the effectiveness of yoga on blood pressure among male and female participants. Here, two separate groups are there, that is male subjects and female subjects. Here, to compare the effect of yoga on blood pressure among male and female subjects, we can use unpaired t-test. That is, we can use this unpaired t-test to compare the effect of anything in two different groups. In the test statistics, we need to calculate two values, that is t calculated value and t table value. So here t calculated value is equal to x1 bar minus x2 bar divided by SE. So we'll discuss in detail later, and we need to calculate t table value also, that is nothing but DF, that is degree of freedom. So the formula for calculating degree of freedom in unpaired t-test is n1 plus n2 minus 2. Here this is the formula for t calculated value, that is x1 bar minus x2 bar divided by SE. Okay, so here x1 bar means it's a mean value of first set of sample or first group of people, and x2 bar is equal to mean value of second group of people or second sample. Okay, and SE is standard error. Okay, so here for calculating standard error we have to use another formula. Here the formula for calculating standard error is square root of SD1 square divided by N1 plus SD2 square divided by N2, and here SD1 means that is a standard deviation of first group, and SD2 indicates that is standard deviation of second group. N1 is number of subjects in first group and N2 is number of subjects in second group. Here standard deviation of first group, that is SD1, is equal to root of sigma x1 minus x1 bar the whole square divided by n1 minus 1. SD2 standard deviation of second group is equal to root of sigma x2 minus x2 bar the whole square divided by n2 minus 1. Here we see the interpretation of result. So how we can interpret the result, whether we can accept or reject null hypothesis. So if t calculated value is less than t table value, so then we have to accept H0, and if t calculated value is greater than t table value, then we have to reject H0, that is we have to accept researchable hypothesis. Here we will solve one example, that is in a nutritional study 13 children were given a usual diet plus vitamin A and D tablets, while the second comparable group of 12 children was taking the usual diet. After 12 months, the weight gain in weight in pounds was noted as given below. Examine the significance of the difference in the means. In this example, we have two groups, that is 13 children were given a usual diet plus vitamin A and D tablets, and the second group is 12 children was taking usual diet. Okay, so we have to check the significance of difference in these two groups. This is the data which is obtained during study, and in this total 13 samples were in the group 1 and 12 samples were in the group 2. And this is the data which is obtained from the group 1, and this is the data which is obtained from the group 2. Here we need to compare the weight gain in group 1 and group 2. For checking this, first of all we need to formulate null hypothesis. Here the null hypothesis is H0, that is there is no significant difference in the weight gain among children on usual diet and children who receive vitamin supplementation. In this example, only we have two sets of data, that is x1 and x2. Okay, so x1 means the data which is obtained from first group of children, and x2 means the data which is obtained from second group of children, that is the gain in weight. Okay, and here in the first set of data, that is it is obtained from 13 children, and the second set of data which is obtained from 12 children. Okay, so the sample size of first category is n1 is 13, and the second sample size is n2 is 12. Okay, so here the formula for calculating t calculated value is x1 bar minus x2 bar divided by SE. So here x1 bar we have to find out by using this formula, that is sigma x1 divided by n1. So we have to find it out. Then x2 bar is equal to sigma x2 divided by n2. This is also we have to find out. Then standard error, this is also we have to find out by using this formula. And here SD1, that is also SD2 also we have to find out by using the formula. So here first t calculated value, that is equal to x1 bar minus x2 bar divided by SE. First what we have to find out, x1 bar is equal to sigma x1 divided by en1. So here first calculating sigma x1, we have to sum up all these values, then we will get sigma x1. Okay, so when we will be calculating this, we will get 52. Okay, and here sigma x2, when we will be calculating this, we will get 30. Sigma x1 is equal to 52 and sigma x2 is equal to 30. Okay, so from this we can calculate x1 bar is equal to 52 divided by n1 is 13. So 13 is equal to, it will be 4. When we will be calculating, it is 4. Then x2 bar is equal to sigma x2 divided by n2. So here sigma x2, that is 30, that is 30 divided by n2 is equal to 12. So here it is 30 divided by 12. So it is 2.5, that is x2 bar is equal to 2.5. So next we need to calculate standard error. So for calculating standard error, first we need standard deviation of each group. For calculating a standard deviation, we need x1 minus x1 bar the whole square. Okay, so in the formula we know that standard deviation is equal to root of sigma, that is SD1 means it is sigma x1 minus x1 bar the whole square divided by n1 minus 1, right? Now, so here first we need sigma x1 minus x1 bar the whole square. So for calculating this, so we have to make these columns. Okay, so here first we will see x1 minus x1 bar. So x1 here it is 5 and x1 bar it is 4. So 5 minus 4, that is 1, and next one is 3. Next x1 it is 3 minus 4, x1 bar is 4, that is minus 1, and 4, here it is 4 and x1 bar is also 4. So 4 minus 4, it is 0. Okay, so in that way we have to make. Then 3, next x1 is 3 and x1 bar is 4. So here 3 minus 4, it is minus 1. So in that way we have to calculate all these values, and next what we have to do is we have to make the square. That is 1 square of 1 is 1, minus 1 square 1, 0 square 0, minus 1 square 1. So like that way for all the values we have to make it. Okay, same like x2 minus x2 bar. So here x2 it is 1, x2 bar it is 2.5. Okay, so that means x2 minus x2 bar, that is 1 minus 2.5, that is equal to minus 1.5. Okay, so here minus 1.5, 1 minus 2.5. Okay, then 3 minus 2.5, that is 0.5. So in that way we have to calculate all those values. Okay, then next x2 minus x bar the whole square, that is minus 1.5 the whole square means it is 2.25. Then 0.5 square means 0.25. Okay, like that way we have to make all those, or we have to calculate all those values. Okay, so when we will be calculating this, so we will get the result, it will be like this. Okay, when we will be adding these numbers, we will get 32. So that will be sigma x1 minus x1 bar the whole square is equal to 32. Same here, sigma x2 minus x2 bar the whole square, that is when we will be calculating, we will get 11. Okay, so here the result will be 11. So here we have to substitute these values for calculating standard deviation formula. Okay, so here this, for calculating standard deviation formula, SD1 is equal to root of sigma x1 minus x1 bar the whole square divided by n1 minus 1. Okay, so here root of, so what is the value of sigma x1 minus x1 bar the whole square? So it is 32. Okay, so here 32 divided by n1 is 13. 13 minus 1, so it is equal to root of 32 divided by 13 minus 1 is 12. So when we will be calculating this, we will get 2.7. so when we will be calculating this square root of 2.7, the answer will be 1.6. that is SD1 is equal to 1.6. Okay, and same like that, SD2 we have to find out. Here sigma x2 minus x2 bar the whole square means it is 11. Okay, so here we have to substitute that value, that is root of 11 divided by n2 is 12 minus 1, that means root of 11 divided by 12 minus 1 is 11, that means it is equal to root of 1, that is equal to 1. Okay, that is SD2 is equal to 1. So here we got sigma x1 bar 4, sigma x2 bar 2.5, SD1 1.6, XD2 that is 1. So all these values we got. So here we have to substitute all these values in the formulas. Okay, then we will get standard error. Then after getting the standard error, we have to substitute these values to the T calculated formula for T calculated value. So next time we need to calculate standard error. Standard error is equal to square root of SD1 the whole square divided by n1 plus SD2 the whole square divided by n2. So here we have SD1. Here you can see SD1 is equal to 1.6 and SD2 is equal to 1, N1 is equal to 13 and N2 is equal to 12. So here we have to substitute all these values. Square root of SD1 is 1.6 the whole square divided by 13 plus SD2 is 1 divided by N2, that is 12. Okay, so 1 square is 1 only. Okay, here when we will be calculating this, it's 1.6. okay, so square root of 1.6 the whole square means it is 2.56 divided by 13 plus 1 divided by 12 is equal to root of 2.56 divided by 13 is 0.19 plus 1 divided by 12 it is 0.08. okay, so is equal to square root of 0.27 is equal to 0.52. okay, this will be the standard error. Okay, so now we can apply or we can substitute these values in T calculated value, the formula for calculating T calculated value, that is x1 bar minus x2 bar divided by SE. So here we have x1 bar is 4 minus x2 bar is 2.5 divided by standard error is, now we calculated, that is 0.52. okay, is equal to 4 minus 2.5 is equal to 1.5 divided by 0.52 is equal to 2.88, that is T calculated value is equal to 2.88. That is the final result. Okay, and next we have to calculate DF. So for calculating DF is equal to, for unpaired t-test, the DF formula for calculating DF is n1 plus n2 minus 2. That is, here n1 is 13 plus n2 is 12 minus 2 is equal to 25 minus 2, that is 23 DF. So here we have to refer the T table. So this is the table of T or T table value. So here how we have to check means, here degree of freedom is there, and here this is level of significance, that is normally we will take 0.05 level of significance. Okay, so here degree of freedom, our from our calculation we got 23 degree of freedom, and 0.05 is a level of significance. So we have to check 23, so it will be like this. So here the value we got, it is 2.07. This is the table value of this 23 degree of freedom. T calculated value is 2.88. So it is greater than T table value, that is 2.07. Only slight variation it is there. So anyway, here we can conclude that we have to reject null hypothesis. That means we have to accept researchable hypothesis. That means there is a difference, significant difference is there in the weight gain among children who received vitamin supplementation and children on usual diet.